Welcome back to the GSL. I'm Tasteless. He's Artosis.
Hi.
And together we make Tastosis. We just saw Rhett manhandle that poor Protoss guy.
He did. The guy is just seriously talented.
Yeah, we weren't lying when we said he was basically one of the best in the world. He's definitely a favorite for this tournament. I think with him and Hydra, those are like the two.
I know, you can't forget about Hydra, man.
Yeah.
That kid is like, they're a very similar style. Kids love drones.
It seems like these guys who had superior mechanics in StarCraft 1 are always picking Zerg. Because, if you have good mechanics and you're playing that race, you're just going to get so much stuff.
A way to look at it, and there were actually several Terran players that did switch over to Zerg for this reason. In StarCraft 1, Terran was not always in all situations, but overall, it's kind of a passive macro race that kind of reacts.
In StarCraft 1, it's like a lot of the game goes on inside of your base.
Yeah.
That was a way to put it. You got to make sure that the SCVs aren't blocking the other SCVs that are making depots.
Yeah.
You got to be clicking on all your barracks and stuff.
And also, a lot of the game is reacting to your opponent, and that's kind of what the role Zerg has taken in this game. Of course, everyone does react to everyone else and stuff like that, but there's kind of more of a trend in the best way to play the race, where you're more of a reactive player. So, that's kind of the style of Rhett and Hydra. That's why they're two of the best Zerg players in StarCraft 2.
Yeah, they're just solid. Now, coming up here, we have JSL Zenith against Kyrix Zenith.
Yes.
And let's take a look at them now. What do you say? You want to do it?
All right, let's do it. JSL, this guy is really good. He actually took out Nada.
Yeah.
In the qualifiers.
He just messed up our tournament.
So he took out Nada, and also he used to be known as Joker Game Eye in StarCraft 1, the pro gamer. Not a really popular one or anything, but I certainly remember him. So pretty interesting. Definitely a very good player, because I tell you what, man, I was watching Nada play at the GSL quals.
So
I taped some of that stuff for YouTube, and it was like sick.
Oh my
his
God.
hands, man, he's just so good. But this kid took him out, so obviously this kid way better.
Yeah, I mean that's no small feat to beat Nada.
No,
and of course I actually thought Nada was going to get through into the round of 64.
Of course,
no
he's
question,
Nada. He's Nada.
Now here is our other Zenith player, Kyrix. This guy, actually, I know we just said this about Rhett, but he is one of the best Zergs in the world as well.
Yeah, he definitely is. And he has his complete own style. We've been calling it Kyrix style, the high economy Baneling aggression. He's really the first person that started doing that.
He
actually drones
exactly in the mid game.
Yeah. He drones up, gets a good economy, and then hits you with Banelings and Zerglings.
Yeah.
That is the Kyrix style that we will be referring to when he does it. And when a lot of other Zergs do it, this guy really is the one that popularized it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of revolutionary because it's a completely different style from somebody like Hydra or Rhett.
Yeah, it's infinitely different, but at the same time, he's very successful. He got to the round of 8 of Season 2 of GSL, and he just won the G-Stars All-Star Tournament in Busan just this last weekend. So, very impressive there. They had so many great players, and he won over Foxer, Fake Boxer, Marine King, whatever you want to call him. Won against him in the finals. I know, man. He was like, he makes a news post saying he's going to change his name to Optimus Prime. We got to talk to him about
controlling how many times the players could change their IDs. I don't know how many people I can refer to in a sentence.
Yeah.
But, these are actually two people that could have easily met in the round of 16.
Yeah.
Or the final 8.
I agree with you right on there. This could have been a round of 16 match.
So it's actually kind of unfortunate that we're casting this at the round of 64. But then again, I guess this is going to be this is to be expected, considering how much more popular the GSL is in Season 3 compared to Season 1. So many more people are playing in this. And, I guess we're going to have people that are this good just playing right off the bat.
Yeah, it happens.
So
it happens. It's a great matchup. Crazy. I am excited about it.
Let's take a look at the maps. We got Metalopolis, Delta Quadrant, and the last map is going to be Jungle Basin.
All right, well, the standard rules don't apply as to what maps a certain race will like when Kyrix is involved, because this guy is so aggressive, he probably wants to play on Steps of War. This guy... Really, he wins on maps like that because he gets so aggressive. So normally I would be like, okay, well, Delta Quadrant, our Zerg players normally don't like this map against Terran.
Yeah.
But Kyrix, on the other hand, he's like, oh, the main is closer? the naturals are closer. That means my banelings get there faster. He might really like that. It kind of suits his
that's
style.
Actually a very good point. Kyrix is a kind of player that doesn't necessarily need to get a third base before he has the advantage.
Yeah.
He
loves to get the advantage off two base.
They're like surgeon Zergs. I mean, they get the scalpel out, they just cut open, and well, they don't do what most surgeons do, which is help people to actually to kill you. This is
it's like a surgeon with a chainsaw tasteless.
It's actually like the movie Saw right now.
Yeah.
So
it's like a lumberjack operating on
that metaphor fails. Can we start over? Can we just start this cast over?
Grab Rhett, bring him back
in
here.
We can do it like we did yesterday. Just like, turn off your computer. I'll walk in there and do the makeup again, come out here, and I'll come out with a better metaphor. But they can't always work. No, seriously though. I mean, it is. Oh, it isn't. It's actually about to start. Get ready for this awesome TVZ. This is the GSL. Down here, in the red, very talented guy. Took out Nada.
JSL tennis.
That's right. I'll say it again. He took out Nada.
Yeah.
So Nada, we expected him to be in this guy's place, but apparently this guy is the Nada Slayer. And over here, I like go to the Overlord.
Well, it's far positions. But again, it's hard to really predict what Kyrix is going to like because this guy, not only does he get aggressive basically every single game, but eventually when it gets through to him that the aggression is no longer going to work, he will expand a bunch and just make a lot of units, most of which will be banelings, yes. But, it's not like he's some low econ cheesy Zerg at all. He likes the high econ. So
what he does is he cripples his opponent or kills them in the mid game.
Yeah,
and then he gets a lead.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very volatile style, though. To be fair, because banelings are one-time use only. So if you don't hit them just right, then you can get quite far behind.
Now, our Terran player is going to wall in. The big question is he going to get that second barracks? Because we've seen so many Marine SCV style plays, and that Marine SCV rush could be very strong against somebody like Kyrix who doesn't get his advantage in the early game. He gets it in the mid game. So if he does get crippled early on, that's going to mess up his ability to do any mid game timing attacks.
Now, we do have a hatchery first from our Zerg player. Will we see a barracks being made by this SCV or any SCV? I really want to see if he's going to go ahead and get the second barracks because he isn't getting gas yet, so it's a possibility that he'll go expansion first. Kyrix loves it when people go expansion first because that means his banelings are not going to run into the siege tanks.
I would be surprised if JSL does go command center first, but it is a possibility.
It's beginning to look like it.
Yeah, I mean, he is not taking his gas, as you can see.
But of course, it could just be a Marine SCV rush or a Marine pressure. There's a lot of different things that you can do with this, but it looks like he is going to go ahead and
He's going to do it. Now, we
Yeah.
both predicted that this would probably be pretty effective. Well, Kyrix would be quite effective against something like this. But let's find out. I mean, JSL did take out Nada.
Yeah.
Kyrix is right up there with Nada.
Well, now, here's the thing about Kyrix. He's absolutely a great player. But we've seen so many of his Zerg vs. Terran games, and it's become so popular that people are getting a lot of prax versus it. And everyone has been able to analyze Kyrix a lot, between last GSL season as well as the G-Stars All-Star game.
Right.
Which he won, and he played plenty of Terrans in. We've really seen his style so much that JSL should have a counter ready specifically for him because he really does stick to his style. We almost never see him not go for the banelings.
Yeah, that's a good point. When you're on top, you end up in this awkward position where everybody's watching you and studying your style, and oftentimes playing with your style, which suddenly makes your originally unique way to play the game kind of standard, and that means everybody in the entire world is suddenly trying to figure it out and how to stop it. So we'll see if Zenith has done that.
Yeah,
JSL has done it.
JSL, of course, in the same team as well, so they probably practice against each other quite a bit. I mean, This guy should be so prepared. And Joker game, I was actually really good versus Zerg in StarCraft 1. Just throwing that in there, too. There's like, basically, if someone's going to beat Kyrix as Terran, JSL has as good a chance as anybody.
Yeah, that is true. I'm curious how much these guys play together. They are both on Zenith.
Yeah.
That means that obviously they're both on the same clan. This is going to be interesting.
Yep.
Barracks up, factory on the way, almost complete.
Would not be surprised if he rushes up to a siege tank, or perhaps rushes up to Banshees, both of which would be pretty good against Kyrix style. The siege tanks, of course, own banelings like no one's business, and Banshees, well, they're pretty good against slow layering Zerg. Now, we do have speed being upgraded, as well as the signature Kyrix Baneling Nest.
Uh-oh. It's happening.
It's this mid-game. Take a look at his drone count. All right, let's look at that. He's got 38 drones against 28 SCVs, so this is a high-economy attack. You know, this is what he's known for. This is what he's good at. This is what he loves. And he's really just staying so much to this style. I feel it might almost detriment him how much success he's had with it, because he is staying with it so much.
Well, I mean, let's see if his opponent could stop it. I would feel like a Baneling bust would be the ideal strategy to do against a command center first build. As you said, the Terran doesn't have a lot of siege tanks out then. You can see he's rushing for siege mode.
Yeah, he's getting it just as quick as possible.
But I think
he might actually have it done before the Banelings hit. So that's actually very quick. And that's going to be extremely good against what Kyrix is doing here. And there we go. It's Kyrix, folks. This is what he does. You know, I think that JSL has probably solved this style. In fact, look at this natural. Double engineering base going up because they have a lot of health. Going to be very much harder to actually break through there.
I like how he's keeping the siege tank up here on the high ground.
Oh, absolutely.
Might get an additional shot off. All right, let's see what he can do.
And here come those Banes.
I wonder if you could just right-click on the command center.
I think that, yeah, you probably could.
All right, here he goes. Command center's lifted.
And that did absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
That was
actually incredibly ineffective.
Yeah, and here's the thing. He just lost so much gas and so many Zerglings from that many Banes going out. So that is the problem when you always use the same style. JSL just blindly countered it and owned it up.
Yeah, I mean, this is what happens if you don't have a variety of different play styles. I have to say, I'm kind of amazed at how ineffective that attack was. I thought it was going to do a little bit more damage than that. I thought it was going to be a little bit closer.
But at the same time, we do have an expansion going up for Kyrix, so he is staying on that high economy, but he is trying, again, these are just to take out SCVs. That is the point of those Zerglings. He wants to kill some SCVs.
All right, here we go. He does put one Zergling in the front to absorb the shot.
Oops.
Uh-oh. Okay, this is getting bad.
Yeah, those Banes aren't going to do anything. Now, Kyrix, see, this is the great thing about the Kyrix style, though. Even though that didn't work, kind of got blindly countered, it didn't work out. He's already got that third base up. He's droning up pretty quickly. Switching over to the Spire now. The Spire is going to be a little bit slow, and JSL should be ready for any Mutalisks that come.
All right, JSL, two-basing pretty hardcore right now. Getting ready. His macro is almost perfect, actually.
Yeah, he's a very good player. No doubt about that.
Well, small Terran army moving out. Remember, Zerg against a Terran can't really expand here because they can just get siege tanks and blast you.
Yeah.
So the Zerg has to kind of hug the corners of the map in this matchup, on this map.
And that's kind of what they want to do anyways. You want your expansions to be far away from the Terran so that it takes him longer to get there. You have more time to react. That's one of the reasons why Zergs really love Metalopolis.
Yeah, the farther away you are from your opponent, and the farther away your expansions can be from your opponent, the better it is for you. Terran's moving out, and this force looks pretty deadly.
It is.
Note that the spiraling just completed. We have Mutas.
21 Banes are morphing. A lot of Zerglings making.
Oh my god, right here.
Now the thing is, he has Marauders in with this army. He has Siege Tanks as well. And
nice small stim here.
The combinations, though, of Marauders and Siege Tanks do very well against Banes. So we're going to have to see. And he takes a tank shot to the Banes already. Cannot be happy with that. And JSL looks like he is just dismantling everything that Kyrix is doing right here.
Yeah, this is pretty brutal. Look at the spacing here, too. Oh, but the Muta's coming in here. They're going to take out this tank. And the siege tanks are pretty much everything for the Terran army against the Banelings, which Kyrix is so good with.
That's right.
Meanwhile, we got a drop over here. Critical tech structure, the Baneling nest. Nice save there by Kyrix. Meanwhile, we got an attack going on down here. He's getting Kyrix's main army out of position.
But Kyrix countering into his army now. And these Banelings, they are going to be spent on these siege tanks quite a bit. And loses a lot, and it looks like he's going to lose his third as well. But he does have another base going up on the left-hand side of the map, right there. No drones quite yet, but right now it really is looking quite good for JSL.
This is really impressive play from our Terran player. Take a look here, Banelings and Mutas moving in here. But JSL's micro is just so good.
Yeah, man, his micro, his planning, his unit composition, it all says anti-Kyrix, and that is what is going on. Kyrix is going to have to GG in a moment here. This attack is actually too much. No way he's going to be able to hold this off.
No wonder this guy killed Nada. Seriously.
Yeah, definitely. Very good player. Nice siege tank splash there. And Kyrix is going to end up pulling this off. He barely got all those Marines out, so the Mutas can clean up with some drones.
Kyrix's drones are pretty good.
He is in a lot of trouble still, though.
It's like the drones chase the Terran all the way back to his base and he destroys all the structures there. Now we got Lings taking out this tank. Kyrix actually managed to hold that off, which I can't actually believe. I was about to call that GG.
Yeah, well, it definitely did look like it for a moment, but, you know, Kyrix, he does a good job, man. He makes so many Banelings that eventually all the Marines are gone and the Mutalisks can just clean up.
Yeah.
But
well,
right now,
let's see if he can make some kind of a comeback here. He's making a hatchery over here. Meanwhile, Terran expanding this region.
That's right. JSL playing a very solid game. And we do have right now, checking out the upgrades, we have +1 carapace for Zerg, +1 attack for Terran.
He's going to gear up for a possible counterattack. But JSL had to be pretty confident to actually build the command center over here rather than build it back here somewhere safe and then float it. However, it is going to finish. He's probably going to make that into a planetary. Would not surprise me after he unloads his SCVs.
You just coming up seeing those turrets.
All right. I'm curious now as to what the Zerg is going to do in this situation.
Wow.
If he's going to attack, he has to do it before that planetary finishes. Because at times when you're Zerg, the planetary fortress can be almost unapproachable.
Yeah, you got to be very careful with that. It especially owns up Zerglings. But if you have enough Banes, you can just right-click on it and, you know, that goes.
That's true, actually. All right, here we go. Here we go. Is he going to do it?
He's just going to target. And that was not enough Banelings.
Oh, my God. That actually might have cost him the game.
Yeah, I know. That was completely bad.
Yeah.
Basically lost all his army, a ton of gas. That was 16 Banes. He lost about a couple Mutas in there as well. And
now that's at full health.
That is a lot of gas as well. So that was about 600 gas loss right there.
It looks like that's going to trigger the Terran to just go ahead and attack now.
He's like, oh, you did that? Okay, here I go. And Kyrix coming in out of nowhere with these Banes.
Wow. I've never seen Banelings become so useless against a Terran player.
You know, you need to hit these special numbers where you actually have enough to close the gap against all these ranged units with their plus attack upgrades. But, you know, Kyrix just keeps spending them, and he never hits those numbers, and JSL runs him over, as we are seeing here.
It sucks to be this queen popping out. You're like, hey, guys, oh, my God.
Oh, no, it's Marines!
Don't you touch the hatchery. I think that's actually going to be game. Now, you never know, because Banelings can do a lot of damage all at once, but... No, wait, hold on a second. There's a Terran actually doesn't know about this expansion yet.
The fact that Kyrix isn't leaving should give him some hint that he's probably on more than 2 bays.
That should be a simple tell right there.
Yeah.
Zerg can't win with 2 bays against Terran with 3 bays. Zerg, of course, is always supposed to be ahead of his opponent.
Yeah.
And there it is.
GG. And it looks like JSL, man, he has solved the Kyrix style.
He's figured out that Kyrix Rubik's Cube style, and now, I gotta say, his positioning with the armies was so perfect. defensively and offensively.
Yeah.
Defensively, he had the siege tank on the high ground. Marines blocking that because he knows the siege tank is what's going to stop those banelings. Offensively, I like how he spread out those tanks on the high ground in the Zerg's turf on Metalopolis, splitting his army up because, banelings are only good if your opponent's army is clumped together.
Yeah.
If it's not
one-on-one, they are very cost inefficient.
Yeah, I mean, if you just kill a Marine with a baneling or have, a few banelings hit a Marauder, that's not the point of it.
Yeah.
So he's stopping that by actually having his army spread out, probably on about 4 or 5 hotkey groups, it almost seemed like. He also wasn't mass stimming.
Yeah.
There were several moments where in that first big attack from the Terran, he only stimmed like 4 or 5 Marines, sent that out. And that way he wasn't over-stimming, so he had medevac energy. It was just really impressive.
Yeah.
He definitely deserved to win that game.
JSL playing really greatly, and just strategically, he's peeled apart, really studied Kyrix's style.
Yeah.
The quick siege tanks with siege mode are key to holding off this baneling aggression because the baneling's just kind of rolling in a clump, and then he loses a bunch of them, and it's like, lift off that command center, and what are you going to do now, Kyrix? He's like, oh, I'm not sure. So there you go.
Pretty brutal, to be honest. The countdown has started. Let's get ready for game number 2 and see if Kyrix can have a comeback.